Hello, welcome back, this is CoinPig. So today, this is the third in a series of websites of the month, and I've been asked a couple of times about Numista, and this is how you use the Numista website. So this is the homepage. You can create an account, it's for free, so you don't have to do anything with it, but we'll look at the catalogue here. So this is the homepage, this is the catalogue. You can browse coins, search coins, browse banknotes now and search banknotes, and there's a list of the latest entries. So in this case we'll look at coins because that's what we're doing, so we'll search coins, and you can search coins from here. The coin catalogue is user generated. Be aware that there may be some things that aren't in there, so we'll have a look. So in the box here, you just type in the country. You can select it from the list, put in the face value of the item that you're looking for. So that's the value in numbers. So in this case, we'll say 50, and we'll select a year. So this case, I don't know, we'll select 1962, for instance, and search that. Now this one here gives you a list. In this case, it's just one coin of all the coins that follow those categories. So it's 50 and 1962 from the United States. There's only one coin listed here. That's the Franklin $50, the 50-cent coin, if you like. It gives you some information. There's some comments, some photographs, and then here we're looking for the 1962. Now it lists all the coins that are the same, basically, so the same design, same makeup, and so on. And because the US have quite a long history with their coins, there's quite a few years here with that particular coin. It's the Franklin $50. There's the list of all the information. Now this last category, the frequency, basically shows the frequency that the item has been traded. And because you can trade on Numista, you have to create your own account for doing that, but you can trade on there. It knows basically how often those coins are traded. Now this 1950 $50, for instance, is 0.3%, so very small number. The higher the number, the more often it's traded, the more common the coin. This is a proof coin, so it's going to be traded less often in most cases than a circulating coin. So, for instance, we're looking for the 1962. Here's the 1962 list. So there's a 1962D, for Denver, just over 35 million. That's now 17%, compared with 0.3% for the 1950 that we just looked at. So it gives you an idea, even if you don't have the mintage figures, it gives you an idea of how often the coin is traded. US coins tend to be traded more often because there's more of a market, but obviously the other information and features it comes up with here show the current value in pounds. Now it doesn't always give you that, but it does give you the other information, obviously the years, the type of coin, the currency, the composition. Now this is a silver coin, it's a 90% silver coin, the weight 12.5 grams, and so on. And also gives you the orientation of the coin, so whether it's a coin alignment or a medal alignment. US coins are coin alignment, so the up and down arrows show that it needs to be flipped 180 degrees vertically when you turn it over. There's the official references, for instance, as well. Gives you all the information here, and also gives you some comments about particular years, particular varieties, and so on. Now this is the Bugs Bunny version. You can see where it shows the error, if you like to call it that, in production. Very tiny errors. Some of these very tiny errors can be quite valuable. And also there's other errors as well, by the looks of it. Now I'm not sure what we'll be able to show you exactly. No, unfortunately, because it's user generated, sometimes the quality of the photos aren't as good as they might, or you might want them to be, to show the errors. But yeah, it does give you a lot of information. And as I said, in this case it gives you all these coins for that particular variety, that particular version of the coin, including the varieties and so on. So let's go back to search. Well, hang on. Let's go back to search coins, and we'll choose a different thing to search for. So we'll go with. Well, we'll keep with the United States. We'll go for the 1964. We didn't know what coin we were looking for, so you don't have to put in the face value on this one. That will give you a list of all the 1964 coins. We'll still go with the $half. This is the $half for 1964 because the composition of the coin changed after 1964. So this one is a 1964 90% silver coin, but there are differences, as you can see. Gives you photographs again and information showing you how frequently it's traded. Now obviously this one is traded quite a lot because it's a silver coin, particularly the Philadelphia. So let's go back to that list and we'll type in a different year. So we'll type in, I don't know, 1965. That's the following year. We know the coins changed in this particular instance in 1965. The composition changed, but it gives you all the information between 1965 and 1970 for that particular $half. Gives you the information that it's changed from 90% silver to 40% silver. Obviously, if you collect $half coins, you know about all this, but you may not have known the particular mintages or particular information about a particular coin. And this is just US $half coins that we've been looking at. There are a whole bunch of other coins. I think the last count was 180,000. So these are all the other bits that you can go through. Don't forget the Numista doc, which is all the information. We'll come back to that later. Back to the home page. So let's have a look at a different coin. This is a £2 coin from the United Kingdom. Now this is a special non-circulating coin. This is a silver coin from 1996. It's a £2 coin, as I said. Gives you all the information, as I said here. Same instance. Gives you the description of the coin, your verse and reverse. Gives you the edge, gives you the mintage figure, 25,163. It's a proof coin. It gives you the rarity index. In this case, for instance, the rarity index shows 78. 78 being fairly uncommon, but not ultra rare. And of course, the bullion value, that gives you the price, the current price in silver, based on the bullion price. And it's just a guide. It's not really that accurate when it comes to resale value, for instance. And obviously that only applies for gold and silver or precious metals. Now this coin here, 1996, as you can see, it's the UEFA Euro 1996, so celebratory even coin. And as I said, it gives you all the information, including the photographs. Let's have a one look. There's the initials that we're talking about here. For instance, tells you in the details there. Engraver John Mills. There's the portrait. The information here. You can see RDM on the obverse. So, it gives you a lot of information, and some of the information that you may miss actually on the coin So let's have a look. Let's have another look at a different coin. So let's type in, well, we can go to Guernsey, for instance, here. Have a look at a Guernsey coin, for instance. Let's type in a 1. I don't know what year should we choose. We'll choose 1985. Now, oh look, there's a penny and there's a pound, both covering those years. Let's click on the pound. This is the old round pound. I believe they're still using the old round pound, even though the mainland has stopped using it. So here's a list of the coins that cover 1985 and the other years that it was available. You can see the frequency here again. Again, 1990, the proof version, 0.7%, just 700 of those produced. 3,500, the standard circulating coin. I mean, bearing in mind this is a very small island, Guernsey, very small population, so the numbers are quite small. Original 1985 that we're looking for, 35,000. That's a third, almost a third of the total number being traded or being exchanged. 1997 is in sets only, as is 1992. So again, we don't know the actual mintage figures. A lot of the Channel Islands don't give out mintage figures. Some of them do, some of them by default eventually. As I said, you can log in, create your account, log in. You can then exchange, you can start swapping. You can create your own swap list. And there's all sorts of other information. The forums here gives you a great idea of what sort of information that I mean, there's a lot of people on this site, so they can help, especially people with specific questions. Numista, that also gives you a lot of information, particularly in terms of the years. If you're looking at non standards, if you like, UK dates, or any other part of the world that uses a different calendar. This particular case, 1964, from the Gregorian calendar, is entered here. This is the Islamic calendar, but there are a few others as well. As I said, gives you information on how to do that. As I said, there's quite a few other calendars as well, the Thai, Persian, Japanese, and so on. Also gives you information about particular countries, dates. There's the knowledge. Well, there's fakes is always a good one. Countermarks as well. Countermarks is a sort of a growing area of coins, although it's been around for a long time. There's a lot of information here. So yeah, as I said, there's tips and tools, things like cleaning coins. That's the question that obviously gets asked quite a lot. Basically, the answer to that question really is don't, unless you really have to. But it does give you some tips on how to do it if you really need to. And there's some information about events and so on. Now, unfortunately, this was filmed before the current situation, so that may not be as popular or as handy now as it was. It will be in time again, I think, but at the moment, not something that most people will be able to use, not in the UK at least. But it does cover a whole range of countries, so eventually it will be helpful. Even places like the Falkland Islands here, look. And it does have something in the Falkland Islands. It's a gift shop. It's not a particular event, but yeah. So there are particular bits of information about all sorts of places around the world. Capstan gift shop in the Falklands. There we are. Those are the opening times. If you live in the Falklands, I'm sure that's going to be handy. If you don't, well, save it till next time you visit. Looking back at the catalogue, let's go back to the country list. The country list here shows the whole range of countries. You can select the country from that list. You can enter a name. If you start typing it in, it will default to that. So you don't have to just search for the UK coins. If you're in the UK, for instance, you can search any country. So, as I said, even within countries, for instance, Romania have a whole raft of provinces. India is another one. And you can even search for a particular person in the catalogue. So, for instance, Christopher Collects. Obviously, a lot of you will have watched his videos. You can select different areas here, different tags. I don't know how accurate those are, but yeah, so basically there's a whole raft of information on the Numista site. Now, I can't cover everything here. I mean, this is already a fairly long video, but there are, as I said, a whole raft of set of information. This was all filmed way before the current situation, so or recorded before the current situation. So talking about the Midland Coin Fair, for instance, seemed like quite a good thing to do at the time. It's not quite so good at the moment, but it will be back. It will be back, I'm sure. When, I'm not sure, but soon, no doubt. As I said, it's a world coin catalogue. You, as a member of the site, can add your own coins. So it depends where you are in the country, in the world, but you have a list of countries and just add your coins. Now, there are a few things that you need to know, but basically, I think most people will use it to research coins until they've got, they've gained a bit more knowledge themselves before they want to add stuff themselves to the site, and that's fine. I mean, in this case, we're looking for an Australian 1920 $1 or £1 as it was then coin. There's a 1 penny coin, in fact. A kookaburra. Typically Australian. This is a pattern coin. So it's a square or rounded square coin. It's a 1 penny coin, so it's obviously quite a novel coin. You don't often find square coins. Obviously, the information is there as well. Obviously, in Australia, they converted the pound to the dollar in 1966. But at that time, in 1920, they were still using pounds. And as I said, there's a whole list of particular coins for that particular year. Australia obviously has a wide range of coins, as well as the UK, US, and a whole bunch of other countries. That was just a selection. I can't go through every country, obviously. So this is the English language version. There are different versions depending on where you are. I think there's definitely a French version because it's a French originated site. So this is it. This is the country and territory list. This is Numista. This is the website. I would say everybody needs to use it. It's one of those websites that is immensely helpful to log your coins, to research coins. And now it's even more helpful because it now contains a database of notes. Well, beginnings of a database of notes. Not all of them are there yet. But yeah, Numista now has a range of UK in particular, obviously for me, notes, I'm not a note collector, I don't collect notes, but I have got a few notes, so it is helpful. So if you go to the catalogue page and select banknotes, you can actually search the banknote catalogue now. So I'm going to search UK notes. Obviously that's the most easy for me. Let's try a 1977 pound. Now, well, that's not a UK note, that's a Northern Ireland note. As you can tell, I'm not really a note collector, so I don't know how to search even for these notes properly. It may be because they haven't been added yet. So yeah, 1970. No, so forget about the forget about the year, because I don't know which year I'm looking for. Let's just search for £1 notes. There we are, that's the one I'm looking for. So there we are, there's the obverse and reverse, and all the information about the £1 note from the 1970s. The one I have is the JB Page note. I'll have to check to see what all the information is all about. As I said, I'm not a note collector, so I may have them, but I don't know much about them. So I believe this one was the first one with the Queen on. I don't know enough. I sort of read something about it, but anyway, this is Numista. It's now got banknotes. You can look up banknotes, and I'll educate myself, no doubt, using this in the near future. I think that was my note, but yeah, you can browse the banknotes as well by country and so on. I don't know what country. I mean, this is a new feature, so there will be gaps at the moment. But let's have a look for the UK notes. There's the whole list of notes from the UK. Some of them have images, some of them don't. I suspect the ones that don't are probably quite rare. There's a £5 note, for instance, from the 1960s, early 70s. Let's have a look at that one. I seem to remember this one. Not that I used it probably, but I seem to remember seeing it around somewhere. So that's the £5 from the 1960s. Yep, so now you've got coins and notes. There's other stuff. So hopefully this helps you out. Yep, so that is Numista, the website. It doesn't have everything necessarily. There are a few missing things, but most of the stuff that you will generally want to look for will be on here. If it's not on here now, it will be on here soon. And basically, you can manage your entire collection. Now, be aware, of course, it's a third-party website. So if it was to go away, so would all your records. But you can download your records if you wish. Keep a separate list that you can create a database of or a spreadsheet of, and store them locally. Now, you want to do that every time you put any major effort into updating your catalogue, but that's the same with all other internet backups, basically. Do it often and comprehensively, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. Take care out there, and I'll see you next time. This is CoinPig saying goodbye for now.